Hi, and welcome to another episode of Productive Emacs. Today I want to touch on Magit. Magit is a Git frontend for Emacs, and Git itself is very, very extensive and can be quite complicated. So let's first drill down to what I want to show. Magit itself has a very nice website and very nice set of documentation, but it does not show the actual user experience of it. So that's what I want to achieve. If you need in-depth documentation on a certain aspect, the Magit website has it. But Magit is a front end to Git, which is a version control system. And as a version control system, it is very popular because it allows you to have a local version control environment and then share with others using GitHub or GitLab or Bitbucket or I don't know, multiple other services. It's very easy, very accessible, but it can be also quite distracting because it is very command line oriented. So for most people, it might be somewhat hesitant to actually use it, and then they choose to not use any version control. Take it from me, you should always use version control, but that's my opinion. But for Git, there is this really, really good book, which is actually made by the people behind Git, called ProGit. And you can read it online for free, you can download it, you can do anything with it. So it's highly recommended if you don't know how Git works, or if you're interested in how a certain thing in Git works, check that out. But what I want to show is the way Magit works, and for me it is one of the most beautiful designed user experiences in Emacs. And if we could all make packages like that, our life would be much easier. So I have this page right here. If I look at my Emacs configuration, what I did, the only thing that you need to do is actually use the package Magit when you use package. I highly recommend it. And then I set a global key binding of Ctrl+C+M to Magit status, and that allows me to call up Magit wherever I am. So in my test environment right here, I have this one file in this directory, and I already have a Git repository. Let's, for the fun of it, toss away can we just delete it? Let's toss away the Git repository. So now my directory is only contained with one file. So if I call up Magit, it will ask me, where is this Git repository you're talking about? Because I can't find anything. So, well, Magit, this directory is fine. And it will ask you, do you want to create a environment? Yes. So it starts with, in beginning there was darkness. That's true. So it will now tell me there's untracked files. Untracked means that version control does not know about it. The simple way to do this is to just press the question mark to actually get some help. And what we want to do is to actually, this is an untracked file. What we want to do is a staging of the file. So we just hit S. And now the file is staged. So it is ready for a following action. The question mark throughout the entire Magit user interface brings this beautiful pop-up. It's very well designed. It has very well organized key bindings. So we know we want to do some committing. So logically the committing is actually a C. So you can press C. And then it comes up with a more elaborate screen. It has a bunch of switches, which I will talk about, options and actions. For now, what I want is to just commit a file. So the action C is something that I want, and then it pops up the commit buffer where you type a message. This is a template that I use, but normally you would just get a single line says, well, type your commit message, add a readme file, hit Ctrl+C, and you're all done. All right, so that's very easy. So what can we do with Magit, right? So suppose we have this entire project and we now want to do some branching, for instance. Branching is seen as a difficult thing to do, but in actuality it is quite easy, especially with Magit. So we press the B for branch, and now we have a very large configuration screen. Generally, you don't need to do anything with the default settings that are here. You can, if you want, to add more descriptions, reset the rebase strategy, which for 90% of the people is totally not necessary. So we are left with the actions. B for branch. You press B for branch, and the default action, the do what I mean action, is always bound to the same key, B for checkout, because normally you would probably always want to check out something when you are interacting with branches. Or in our case, we want to create a new branch, so the N for new, we'll hit it, and it says create branch starting at, now we want to start at the master, the thing that is known in Git as the master. And what is our name? Feature 1. At this point, Git made a branch, but the Magit interface shows you that it is still in the master branch. So we go back to the branch, and now we do the default action, the checkout, and we want feature 1. Magit will show you that it is in feature 1. So let's add a change. This is a change. And when we hit Magit status again, CM in my case, it will tell us that there's unstaged changes that apply. That is our change right here. But suppose you don't know what the change is and you want to see a diff. Let's hit the D. And there's, let's now take a look at the switches that we can set. Because sometimes a change is just white space and you don't care about the change. The change should not even be in part of a patch or anything. So these switches, these are all switches that you would normally pass to Git to on a command line. So say Git, Diff, minus function minus context, no xdiff, stat, those type of things. Within Magit, when they are red, they are activated. If they're gray, they are inactive. And when you are on a line, you can just hit the enter key and it will toggle it. Once you have your set up as you want, and not everybody likes the same way diff works, you can also use these common commands to actually save your defaults. So I am not interested in the show surrounding functions, for instance. So you hit Ctrl+XS and will drop back to the main interface. But as you see in the bottom, it also wrote custom EL. So if we go to custom EL, we should see that there is now a Magit diff arguments with the specific settings that I want to have. Normally, you would do this as part of your own configuration, but when you get started, just putting it in custom is fine. So let's look at the diff. We have the settings as I want them, and we hit the D for do what I mean. And now we see some statistics. The number of files changed, the insertions, the file that is applied. And then the diff of that file. We currently have one file. As we previously staged changes from the interface of Magit when we looked at the files, when you are in a diff, you can actually selectively apply changes. So let's say that I want to have this change to be applied. I hit the same key, the S, for staging, but it only staged that one diff, and currently the diff is the entire file. But if you will see that the file is now under staged changes, but if I add another change, this is another change, and I hit Ctrl XS, and I go back into Magit, I refresh the status. It now tells me that there's an unstaged change in README and a staged change in README. So there's actually, if we go into the diff, there's actually a diff, this is another change, which is not part of the thing that will be committed. So there's only a part of the file that will be committed. And I personally did not know that this is possible until I started using Magit. So that shows you the power of a well-designed tool. So let's commit the change. Let's hit the commit again. Add a partial change. Ctrl CC. And now the diff is still here. The commit only applied a small part of the file to the repository, which is very powerful, especially when one of your colleagues goes like, well, that thing that you just changed, can you commit it? And well, you have a million changes around it, right? All right, so logging is also very nice. The L for logging, and hit L again. You see the logs themselves. So if we would now commit this change as well, we should be able to see, quickly do this, commit, why not? And then one thing that is very difficult in most things, most version control system, is to actually merge changes from one branch to another. So let's take a look at how to do that. So it's actually under M for merging. And what we want, we will take the defaults for now, and let's just hit the M for merge. Merge default master. We have merged it. There is probably nothing to change. Let's check out master. Nope. Branching, check out I am for some reason always pressing the wrong button, so let's do the checkout of master. So now we're in master, and we see that the file is not the same as the feature branch. We merge into this branch the merge of feature. It will actually take the commits, and now master will have the same data. So if we take a look at the log, we should actually see that we had a README file, we did a partial change, and now master and feature are at the same level. So we'll get to that later. Master is at the same level as feature, and if we check that out now, we do a change here, change. Let's stage it, there we go. Stage, commit, master change, and I cannot type, so that's and let's check out the feature branch. Another change. There we go. Let's stage the file README. That's the diff. I pressed too many buttons. Commit it, and our change will be feature change. Well, that's 2 for 2 that I cannot spell, so that's fine. Let's go back into Magit. Hit the L for logging, logging again. And now we see that we get the logging from the perspective of the feature branch. And if we go into the branch check out master, it will have the other chains. We can go away. CM logging, log current, but we can also do log all branches. So let's do a B for log all branches. And now we see that feature is ahead of the master. You can see that in both cases I cannot type, but you get a really nice, as far as it goes, visualization of the branches and where they are in respect to each other. So that's very powerful parts from Magit. What else is there to really say? The entire merging, conflict resolution, bisecting, it's all very advanced topics, which are very well explained in the Git documentation. And the Git documentation is directly applicable to the Magit interface due to its beautiful design. It's very intuitive to take the command line arguments given in the Git manual and apply them to Magit itself. I think it's one of the most well-designed packages for Emacs, and it's one of the most popular, so many people probably already heard of it. But if you have not and you use Git, give it a try. It is well worth the effort. So with that, I would cheer you on to explore Magit, to try it out if you have not done so. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up below. It's greatly appreciated. Any comments, drop them down below. If you are part of community, publish this, share this video with your friends. And most importantly, if you've not done so, press the subscribe button below. It is greatly appreciated, and you will be notified whenever I put new videos up regarding Emacs, Clojure, CloseScript, or web development in general. So I hope to see you later on again. Goodbye.